Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I would be talking to myself. Thank you guys for bearing with me last night with the live stream. I was trying to do something new. I got some new software so that way I could use multiple cameras. So we were going to have the Joe Boo webcam. So that way you guys could actually see Joe Boo up close with his shot of rum. But unfortunately, being old and technology challenged like I am, I screwed it up. I did actually get it working later on. I went from one end of the spectrum, not being able to get it to work, to the other end being I didn't turn it off. And it was literally on all night long. In fact, I had some people this morning who were texting me saying, hey, your live stream's on. Be sure you know before you go back in the man cave that you're not doing something you don't want seen by the world. Because even at 7 o'clock this morning, there were still 10 people that were on there. So thank you for all you guys who watched a dark studio last night. That's a new one on me. So we're going to be doing some stuff with that where we're going to be able to do multiple cameras. I'll be able to do replays and things like that. So it'll be more like a real broadcast. But it's Saturday morning. Of course, we don't have football, but we're getting closer and closer. I believe we're down to 16 weeks. So it's coming hard and fast. But what I wanted to do is revisit something. See, it drives me crazy right now when people literally will say, oh, that guy's a bum. He's a nobody, man. He's a seventh round draft pick. You know, he's not a first round guy. You know, all the draft experts say he's going to do this, this, and this. The draft experts say he's a bum. He can't produce. He's, not the right height. He's too small. He's too slow. What I always tell you to do is ask yourself one question before you look at all the stuff from the combine. That's a great tool and everything else, the Wonder Link. You can at least know if the guy's an idiot. But the big question is, can the guy play football? And does he fit your system? Because the guys who draft people, they make a lot of mistakes. The guys who are quote unquote draft experts, they make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to revisit the quarterback rankings because the Rams right now are screwed. They're screwed at the quarterback because Jared Goff basically looks like a bust so far, to the point where they're talking about a guy, Sean Mansion. I'd never even heard of him before. Played a couple of quarters, 43 QBR rating, third round draft pick from a couple of years ago. That guy may be starting over Jared Goff, a guy who the NFL experts, and let me actually quote them. One of these are a ranking of quarterbacks. This is the top 8 prospects going into last year. Jared Goff may not be a once-in-a-generation quarterback prospect, but he's the closest thing to be sure bet you have in a weak draft class. Don't be scared off by Cal's Bear Raid offense, blah, 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 blah. But he's kind of like Marcus Mariota, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't a pure college spread attack, yada, yada, yada. Goff's poise and movement in the pocket are his best attribute. Here we go. He just doesn't get rattled, no matter how many bodies are around him. Yeah. That kind of composure is rare for young quarterbacks. They establish the NFL passers who aren't as cool as Goff in the pocket, including Russell Wilson and Andy Dalton. So here we go. The draft experts said, you know what? It's a weak class. But Jared Goff, he's the cream of the crop. He's poised in the pocket like Russell Wilson. You know, Russell Wilson who has a Super Bowl ring? They said he's basically got the size, the build, the awareness, the arm. He's got everything to be a can't-miss guy. And they literally, this article just goes on and on and on and on and on, about him, They talked about his completion percentage of 64.5 in 2015. That's great. So they figured that guy, head and shoulders above the rest, and that's why he was drafted number 1. A guy who right now, a third round nobody, is about to take his position for the second year. So, let's go back to draft experts again. Christian Hackenberg, they have rated number 2 with a 7.9 grade. again, they go on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay? I actually have him graded as a mid-late first-round pick, but I wouldn't put him in the number 2 spot. Hackenberg is the kind of prospect you have to watch in order to get on board with him as a first-rounder. Box scores just don't do him justice. If you take time to study his game, you'll see the passer is very comfortable going through his progressions in the pocket. Yeah, okay, so they thought he was a number 2 quarterback. And they go on and on. I mean, this thing I can just scroll through. Of course, Carson Wentz at 7.82. The most difficult evaluation of the year, Carson Wentz is either the most pro-ready guy in the class or a guy who should sit for a year. But again, they go on and on and on about Carson Wentz. Then they go to Connor Cook with a 7.80. We won't go into Connor Cook and all that. He hasn't actually been on the field to do anything, so we don't know. Then they go to Paxton Lynch with a 7.57 rating. Okay? They say some good things about him, and they go on and on and on about him. Aha! Now here's where it gets interesting. Dak Prescott had a 7.42 grade. His accuracy, they gave him a 7. His arm strength, they gave him a 9, which is, almost a 10. His football IQ, they gave him a 6.5. His pocket presence, they gave him a 6.5. But his highest grade, they gave for being an athlete, and a 9.5 out of 10. So, here's what's so funny about this. Because after having scrolled down through all of the information that they have on all the top 5 ones, you get to Dak Prescott's. It's one paragraph. One freaking paragraph about Dak Prescott. And here's exactly what it says. A lot will have to go right for Prescott to end up as an NFL starter. This is not my words. These are the experts that are out there telling you right now what player is going to be good. Landing with the right team and the right coach will be paramount. The Mississippi State standout has some nice tools, a strong arm, and great athleticism. So if he ever learns to operate, let me say it again, if he ever learns to operate in the pocket and read defenses, he has a chance. At the very least, Prescott should be able to make a spot starts and carry out a game plan that is catered to his skill sets. That's the experts talking. Are you kidding me? So when you guys sit here and listen and read about a guy who's drafted in the 7th round and say, oh, this guy's going to be a nobody because the experts say that he's not going to be a nobody. That's what these experts said about Dak Prescott. So don't believe everything you hear out there from the talking heads. So as always, friends, I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, bringing you some knowledge on the NFL.